What was a fact that you regret knowing? Maybe it's well known, but the song I Don't Like Mondays is based on a horrific story. A teenage girl named Brenda Spencer lived across the street from an elementary school. One day there were a bunch of kids outside the gate waiting to be let in, and she just started shooting at them. None of the kids were killed, but 2 school employees were, the principal and a janitor, I believe. But I don't remember for sure. Afterwards she went back home to wait for the police, and she called up a radio station to tell them what she did. When they asked her why, her answer was, "I just don't like Mondays." There was a woman in the 18th century called Mary Toft who stuffed dead rabbits into her vagina and later acted as if she gave birth to them. The doctors believed her till one of them examined, found corn in one of the rabbits' stomachs. It couldn't have been in there. She also did the same with a hog's bladder and a cat's legs. Also with about 15 rabbits. Don't know why I even know this. Edit. Do the duck found this helpful? Please don't put rabbits in your vagina or any other hole. My dad and I both took DNA tests for fun, and I found out we aren't related. 0% match. That my real mum is my sister. I'm adopted. Bob Ross actually hated his afro. When he started out it was the cheapest hairstyle to maintain, and once he picked up some traction it was too iconic to get rid of. The magnitude of how dirty hotel rooms are. The Challenger space shuttle astronauts were most likely alive and awake on the way down. I watched someone jump off the Stone Arch Bridge in Minneapolis and saw them pee their pants right before they jumped. Acted Daniel von Bargen, Super Troopers. Scene fault, attempted suicide by shooting himself in the temple with a .38 revolver. He was diabetic and didn't want to go to the hospital for another amputation. Unfortunately he survived and was severely wounded. He also was permanently blinded from the gunshot. There's a transcript of the police call that left me shook. He passed away 3 years later from a battle with diabetes. I remember reading this is why some people duct tape the gun to their hand if they attempt suicide in case the first shot doesn't complete the job. Edit. For those asking why the duct tape, I believe the idea is that you can damage the part of your brain that affects your vision, but not die from it. Then you are possibly disabled, blind, and in pain, but unable to finish what you started if you dropped or lost the gun. Not much fun to think about. There was an experiment once where, every hour, a rat had to choose between getting fed or having the pleasure nerve of its brain stimulated, and the rat being tested starved every time. It's pretty interesting, but also kind of sad. Thanks. Freeman's Mind. My parents are swingers, and now well into their 70s. Cockroaches can fly at 5 kilometers per hour and can live 3 weeks without their head. They eventually die of starvation. They have a main brain in their head and also a primitive brain near their abdomen. Cockroaches also predate grass. The last one is not that scary, but kinda scary knowing they've been here so long, so getting them out will be harder and they will probably outlive humans. Edit reworded some stuff. That you have to clean lumps out from underneath a horse's foreskin from time to time. An octopus penis is actually one of their tentacles. So if you would go and pet an octopus at SeaWorld or some other place you could be groping their penis. Every time you think of a fond memory, you rewrite that memory in your brain. And with time it will slowly deviate more and more from what you originally remembered, without you ever knowing it. That my dad likely has terminal brain cancer. I was setting up his My chart for him and stumbled upon the information. That my girlfriend once sucked her friend's husband's penis when she went to the bathroom yesterday. Don't put yourself through the pain of trying to continue the relationship. I've made that mistake before and it isn't ducking worth it. Leave her and find someone better. Also, the wife needs to know too, unless you don't think she can handle the news. Fuck cheaters. That my father died believing that I was not his child. When my mother told me, it broke my heart and has forever changed my relationship with my family. Edit. Thanks for your interest in my story. It's helped to put answers to some of your questions and to read some of your stories. Because your body uses vitamin C to make collagen, which holds your skin together and makes scar tissue. When you get scurvy, your old wounds reopen. From my first job at KFC, you can't really tell the chicken is spoiled once you put it in the fryer. Aneurysms can happen to anyone at any time for no reason, and can burst at any time for no reason. Every year thousands of children write to Santa Claus. One of the most requested things children ask for on their Christmas lists is a dad. This hurts. Him going to get a drink. Edit. Thank you for all the upvotes, it wasn't expected. I'm a single mother myself. This hit home because my father left when I was 3. My daughter is 4 now and just asked me if she could put on her list a mum and dad. I was shocked because she has a mum and dad, but she meant live together. That hit hard. She has a father she sees regularly. We haven't been together since she was 6 months old. When David Foster Wallace hanged himself on his back porch, he tied his hands together with duct tape so that even if he changed his mind at the last minute, he wouldn't be able to escape. He had been struggling with severe mental health issues for more than a decade, so it was sad, but not surprising, when he finally succeeded in committing suicide. I just wish I didn't know that detail about the duct tape. Every suicide by hanging that I have had to go to, I can see their regret after it start and before they pass out from the evidence at the scene. I can't imagine what is happening in people's minds as they struggle to fix something they can't. Leads me to believe, just like the documentary about the Golden Gate Bridge jumpers has said, it almost is always an instant regret. Doctors performed surgeries on infants without anesthesia until the 80s. They thought the babies couldn't feel pain. Edit. For those asking me medical questions, I have absolutely no idea. I don't even remember where I saw this fact, but I just always have remembered it. Plus where I got the fact from was referencing open heart surgery on an infant, and adding a source. However, surveys of medical professionals indicate that as recently as 1986 infants as old as 15 months were receiving no anesthesia during surgery at most American hospitals. This was the New York Times. So there is a good possibility it is still happening in other countries. Also, thanks for the wholesome awards, you weirdos. Stay wacky. That my mom never really wanted to marry my dad, was still in love with her college sweetheart, was unhappy in the entire marriage, and still had 2 kids with him. Even if my dad didn't want a second kid, I love my little brother. But if your partner doesn't want a kid and you stop using birth control, so you can have one anyways, that's effed up. Sorta cliche, but there are millions and billions of living organisms on your body, so to them, you are their galaxy. Edit. Sorry if I sound like a complete virgin, but holy crap, I've never gotten that much upvotes. Thank you for the awards either. That anesthesia doesn't always works. My colleague donated one of his kidneys to his brother and he experienced the entire operation without being able to move or scream. Pain and all. Took many months of therapy moving on from this. Someone tried and failed to save Abraham Lincoln, and his life just got worse from there. #. Dying from starvation is because your body exhausted all of its resources to feed your brain, and then finally as a last resort it taps into digesting the muscles around vital organs in order to get the ketones your brain needs until there's only one muscle left, your heart. So technically you die because you ate your own heart. Not a scientifically accurate explanation. Closer to LE5. But yeah, cold have gone a lifetime without knowing that. Edit. That is, if you survive until your heart gives out. But other vital organs can go first and kill you earlier. Thanks for the links in the comments. Go read them. I just wrote down the layperson gist of it. To be fair, it takes about a month to die of starvation and it's been documented as a fairly painless process. I have experienced muscle atrophy due to lack of food. 10 days, and I can say it feels like mild growing pains. Advil knocks it out. There was some old lady with a terminal illness that decided to take her life by not eating, and the doctor watching over her got her consent to study the effects of starvation on the body over time. I'll have to find the link. That doctor made the most detailed account to date of what happens to the human body when devoid of all food besides water. Not really a fact, but when I was 20, I wasn't afraid of anything. Now that I'm approaching 40, I've learned of so many ways things can go wrong and people can duck up that I'm always at least a bit cautious. That's probably for the best, but I liked being a fearless 20-year-old more. More people have tapeworms than dogs. That makes them the most popular pet. Furby's eyes are in the front, which would make them a predator. Please click subscribe if you enjoyed this video.